Hey y'all, Jen back from PepperHarrow. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a beautiful mason jar centerpiece. And a lot of people get a little bit intimidated with how to start with just an open jar, but we have a trick. Today we're going to be using our little bouquet maker. And what it is this beautiful wooden piece here that is made by our friends at Fiddlesticks Woodworks. They make this, they insert the jar lid in here, and then they give us a little disc to insert. So we're gonna cheat a little bit. This is my cheat mason jar bouquet maker, and it makes the best centerpieces. So I'll show you how we do that today. I'm gonna take the top, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the top of the jar, getting it in place here nice and secure. Okay, now I have my top set. I already have a little bit of water in my mason jar, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is put a few pieces of greenery in. And I'm gonna do this because we like to make just a little greenery nest with the greenery that we have available. And today I'm gonna be using some beautiful gunny eucalyptus. That's here. I just love eucalyptus. I love how this kind in particular is a really beautiful verdant green color. I like it a lot better than the more grayish looking eucalyptus. I prefer the darker green color a little bit more, but you can see how lovely and beautiful it looks. I'm also going to use my new pair of snips. You guys can find these on our website. I'm sure Adam can maybe put a link above, or maybe we can put it in the description below. And then you can grab a pair of your own. So I'm gonna start by putting these in. So when you have a big piece of eucalyptus like this, I usually will just pull off some of the little side pieces. The thing you guys wanna make sure to not do is you don't wanna have any greenery in the water of your little centerpiece. So I'm gonna make sure that I have some of this greenery taken off. And a good trick is if you put it on the bottom, you can see how high up it's going to end up being. And right now I can see it's a little bit too tall. I don't want it this big in my little mason jar centerpiece. So I'm gonna trim this down a smidge, and I'm stripping off some of the bottom greenery. Set that other guy off to the side. You can take your extra little bits like this and make a really nice shower steamer that smells incredible with your leftover eucalyptus. Or you can take these and use them for other little bud vases around your home. There's a million different uses, so save your little pieces that you're not using in your big centerpiece. It's still a little big, so I'm gonna take it down just a little bit more. The rule of thumb as you're making a beautiful bouquet of flowers is you take the size of the piece that you're working with. So the height of this is probably like 6 inches tall. You're gonna go 6 1/2 of 6 to figure it out. So about 9 inches. I say it's about the size of the centerpiece itself. Like right here is kind of the tip max height that you want something to look visually satisfying. We see a lot of people who will put flowers in and they'll just be like right outside of the tip of the rim. And something about that doesn't quite look pleasing to the eye when, something a little is just like kind of peeking over like this. Make sure that you have plenty of height on here and that you're really giving it that 9 inches to come up and like sprawl out a little bit. The other thing is you can put it up and down, but we tend to like to put them in at an angle and have it facing out more this way and this way to get a little bit more depth going with the centerpiece. All right, I'm gonna keep going and grabbing some pieces of greenery. This is the fun part, and I don't actually overthink this too much. Usually I go pretty quick on this stage at this part, and I don't hold back. I will put as much greenery in here as I possibly want, but I tend to go a little bit lighter on the greenery. I won't go too incredibly heavy because I want this to be about the beautiful flowers that we have to use. So I'm gonna pick a little piece of eucalyptus that isn't too overwhelming. Okay, so my last piece is going in here, and I kind of just went out. I put 2 on the side, and then 1 coming out to the front and 1 coming back to the back. And if I want to, I can go back in and put more greenery in, but for now, this is all I'm going to do. The next thing, this is the fun part, is putting in the flowers. And I'm gonna be working with some beautiful ranunculus today. I have some pink ranunculus. I have some butterfly ranunculus, which are going to look beautiful, light and airy in there. And I have some orange, I have some more pink, I have white, and I have this beautiful hot pink color slash fuchsia, which I kind of want to make the centerpiece of this beautiful arrangement. This beautiful fuchsia color is so eye-grabbing. It's going to look spectacular in here. They're a little bit older, which you can see it's making them a little bit more, they're really blown out and looking amazing. I probably only have a couple days left on these before they completely shatter and like lose all their petals, but for right now, I'm gonna enjoy them and they look really incredible. I'm gonna take this down just a notch. I like to take my bigger blooms. The bigger the bloom, I try to sink it down a little bit lower in the little arrangement that I'm putting together. The smaller ones, I'll kind of put them up here a little bit lighter towards the top area. So I'm gonna do hot pink, I'm gonna do some orange in here also. We're just gonna have fun with it. And if I need to go back and put a little bit more water in, I will. I saw that little, this little stem I put in did not make it to the bottom. You wanna make sure that your flowers are in water, so I'll go back and end up putting a little bit more water in so that I can make sure that it has plenty of water. Oh wow, the ranunculus are getting stuck together. Okay. So with ranunculus, you can leave off all this greenery or you can pull a little bit off. I like to leave a little bit on to make it look a little bit more garden inspired. And then the other thing I like to leave on too is this little bud. This little bud probably won't end up blooming, but it looks really pretty and very gardeny as I'm putting my little bunch of flowers together here. So I'm gonna pop that guy in. The other thing I'm doing is just making sure that I'm gonna cut them at different stem lengths. I don't want all of my flowers being the exact same stem length. I want to create really some beautiful vision or visual dimension, not having everything at the same height and really making sure that I'm spreading all of my blooms out. Pop in some more of my fuchsia. And I always give my stems a little bit of a trim before I stick them into the vase. It's looking really pretty already. I love this hot pink color so much. I'm gonna trim it down just a hair more. It's gonna be kind of low. There we go. And I try to put everything in odd numbers, but it's not a hard and fast rule. I'm not like totally beholden to that, but it's just kind of a guide that I generally like to do. So on those hot pink ones, I just put 4 in. I'm gonna put 1 more in just because. And this color is so eye-grabbing, like I want there to be another one in there just because it's spectacular. And I'm going to find one, this one was kind of leaning out. You can see it's kind of bent. This one's facing straight up and I'm going to put it in the middle area. So I went for that one on purpose. So I'm gonna put this in the middle of the centerpiece. Take off all that greenery. We don't want that to get into the water and mess things up. Kill the flowers a lot quicker. Okay. So kind of like spin it around until I can make sure its head's straight up like I want it to. Now I'm gonna add in some of my other colors and maybe a little bit of white, and then we'll pop in some of these butterfly ranunculus, but already I'm like, it looks like a Matisse painting. So pretty. I really love it. Okay, so more orange, that's what we're going to do. And just like I said, I talked about saving some of the eucalyptus. If I don't want some of those little buds off to the side, I'm gonna take these and put them over here. And again, I'll probably tuck them in with some of the eucalyptus or some other ranunculus blooms and use them. But I already have my one little companion there. I'm gonna pop this guy in. And sometimes with ranunculus, if they're still a little bit closed up, I'll kind of coax them open a little bit. Not too much. I don't want to stress them out and bruise the bloom at all. Okay, so I'm kind of twisting at this point, trying to find a little spot. It's starting to get a little bit crowded in my little bouquet maker because of the greenery that I used. But I'm going to find a little spot for my little orange ranunculus. There he goes. Okay, I'm going to put another one in. I'm gonna make this one up a little bit higher. Wow, it looks so good. I love these colors. We always defer to anything orange and pink. That's kind of our bouquet combination. That's the color of flowers that we love to use together. We think they look amazing. And just having that bright pop of hot pink in here, that fuchsia color, looks absolutely wonderful. So providing a little bit of a contrast too is always a good idea, just so it doesn't look too blendy and like it like looks too similar. It's nice to have a pop of color that's like visually eye-catching. All right, so I'm gonna pop in a few of my pink ranunculus in here because I think they will look really nice. They're a little bit soft, but I think the color will look really good with the bright pops of that hot pink and orange together. It'll soften it a little bit, and then I may pop in a couple white if I can fit them in here. But you can go as simple as you want. You can go as elaborate as you want with these, popping in as many flowers as you possibly want in here too. I'm getting the bigger size ones, so I'm looking through them a little bit. This guy's a big one. I'm gonna use the big ones. Okay. Wow, that is so good. Okay. And if you get a little nub like this, you're just going to trim it off and take that little nub off so that it won't get caught on the wire that you're using to put your centerpiece together with. Another pink one is what looks like and then I'll give it a flip so you guys can see what it looks like. That's the fun part, is like moving it around, looking at it from all angles, seeing how it looks. And I'm like notorious for fiddling with my centerpieces for a long time. Sometimes you just have to walk away and be like, it looks beautiful, I'm good with this. But part of the fun is fiddling a little bit and like playing with your flowers. And I find it to be part of the joy with being able to have flowers that we're growing, being able to like just have fun. It's like playing with toys. It's fun to take some time, play with them, and just create something absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna keep dotting in a few flowers in here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add some white in, and then I'm gonna pop in some of those butterfly ranunculus because I want you guys to see what they look like. With white, you have to be careful because sometimes it looks like there's a giant hole in your centerpiece. So we just wanna make sure that we maybe sink the white in a little bit more, just to make sure that it doesn't take away from some of these other colors that look so extraordinary. And we don't want there to look like there's gonna be any kind of a hole. White is very, very attention grabbing, especially when you're trying to blend it with other colors. So you wanna make sure that it's a little bit more subdued in your bouquet of flowers that you're putting together, that you're kind of hiding them a little bit more rather than putting them, out directly in the forefront of your centerpiece. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna put a little something over here. Okay, just gonna take a little gander. I'm gonna put another white back in here. This one is lovely because it's so large. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that, so pretty. Ranunculus are kind of my favorite flower, but a lot of people ask me, because we have a flower farm, what my favorite flower is, and I'm like, it's kind of like trying to pick a favorite child. I can't. Like, with every season comes a new favorite flower of mine. Honestly, I love them all. But ranunculus are one of my favorites for sure, just because they have such a long vase life and because they're so ruffly and beautiful looking. Like, look at them. Absolutely incredible. So I'm going to put this little white one over here, and I'm gonna sink it down like we talked about, a little bit lower, and I'm putting it in at an angle because I want it to come outwards a little bit instead of being straight up and down. Have to squeeze it in and see if I can sneak it in here. Oh yeah, I love that. That looks so good. Okay. So I want to put a little bit more greenery in here, so I'm gonna grab a little piece of my eucalyptus and just cut off a little piece there, and again, stripping off the leaves so that nothing's down in the water. And I'm gonna have a little piece of eucalyptus coming out this way. Great. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do is go tuck some of those butterfly ranunculus in here. And I love them. I like their airiness and how wispy they are. Ranunculus can tend to get a little bit heavy, but these little butterfly ranunculus really add just a little bit of a sparkle and an airiness into a bouquet. So I'm popping them in. That one was a little past. But I have these, and I have my little buds here, which will end up doing something. Those will open. See if I can squiggle it in. There it is. Boom. Okay. One's in. I'm gonna put the other ones up high like I said. I'm gonna pull off a bit of that greenery and leave some on. Okay, perfect. And they kind of wanna hang a little bit and look a little bit more wild. I love that. That's what they're supposed to do in this centerpiece. This little guy, taking a little bit of that greenery off. I'm gonna put him up there. Okay, come on, buddy. It's getting really full now. Okay, everybody's like, when we get this asked a lot about in classes, is like, when do I stop putting flowers in? I'm like, can you ever have too many flowers? I don't think it's possible. I love to just keep tucking flowers in. I think they look gorgeous no matter what, and I have a hard time like stopping myself. So I'm just gonna add another one over here. I already have one that I sunk a little bit lower now to see if I can win the battle of forcing it in. Or excuse me, coaxing it. Coaxing it gently, not breaking it. Okay, I love it. It went in, you can see it here. The last thing I'm gonna do is take a little look around, take a peek at my centerpiece, see if I wanna end up adding a few more flowers in. And probably like that's how I roll. Or if I wanna tuck a few more pieces of greenery in, I'm gonna sink one down a little bit low down on this side area. You guys, tell me what you think about ranunculus, or like, tell me what you think about these hot pink ones. I think they're absolutely insane, and I think I'm gonna double down and add a bunch of these into the garden for next year. The color to me, absolutely spectacular. I wanna get as many as I can in because I think they would be really popular with our customers. And I don't really feel like I see very many hot pink ranunculus around, and I think it would be a smash. Nice, that looks so pretty. I like the eeriness. I do love the way those butterfly ranunculus look in there. And yeah, to add more garden, like garden inspired look, make it look a little bit more garden-y, you can put a few more buds in and it will just add that little snap of like making it look a little wilder, like something that basically came right out of your garden. Just adding like little pods and little bits of texture like that always will do the trick to make something look a little bit more wild. This guy's maybe a little droopy, but I'm gonna go with it and let it have its way and do its thing in there. It looks so pretty. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. I think part of what gives this centerpiece character, it's not perfect. It's like, the imperfection is what makes it perfect, and it's completely imperfect. It looks like it completely went and like put this together out in the garden, threw it together, but like it has so much movement and airiness, and I think it looks absolutely fabulous. I would love to photograph this or to paint it. I think it looks so incredible. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video of how we would put together a very simple mason jar centerpiece using our new little bouquet makers from our friends at Fiddlesticks Woodworks. If you loved today's video, subscribe to our channel, and as always, like and comment below. I'm curious to see if you guys have any questions or what you loved about this centerpiece. Thank you all for joining today, and happy growing.